believe it was 2016, they built this new visitor center and entrance to the or trailhead to the profile trail. Really nice start, and this is obviously part of the state park. Welcome to my channel, Blue Ridge Backroads and Adventures. Today going to hike the profile trail at Grandfather Mtn State Park. Take a look at it. It's still some good color in the leaves. We've just passed the peak of the season. Up higher elevation, the leaves have already pretty much left. So let's get on with it. Here, with all the trails in the state park, you have to fill out a hiking or camping permit at the start. I carry a few in my truck anyway, so I'm ready to go with that. Go ahead and deposit this. I like to run a couple of apps to monitor my hike. I'll use Avenza maps at the gorge, but I use Gaia maps. This seems to be the most accurate. And the All Trails map, or navigation. It gives me a good read on my distance and time. The trail starts out pretty mellow, wide, nice path. This lower section is maintained and traveled enough to be very popular with tourists. They've now added a connector that cuts off the drop to the old profile trailhead. Before the connector, you would drop down in elevation quite a bit to that old trailhead before then starting up. This new connector just traverses with one little short down and up feature in the middle of it. They extended that lower portion of the profile trail to make about a 2.4 mile loop using that, and then coming back on the connector or with the connector. If you use just the connector to travel up to Calloway Gap or Calloway Peak, it cuts about 3/10 of a mile off. So the old profile trailhead was just about a quarter mile north of this new trailhead. Quarter mile, half mile, I guess, right off of Highway 105, down in the gully along the head of the what becomes the Watauga River. When I was a teenager, before the profile trail was built, we hiked the Shanty Spring Trail to the intersection of the Grandfather Trail to either continue out across the ridges to the swinging bridge, or to hang a left and go up to Calloway Peak. Trailhead for that was where the entrance to the shopping center here is, right just up behind the Grandfather Mtn billboard that's been there for as long as I can remember. Coming up on the intersection of the connector trail, and that's what I'll take. Down here is the profile trail. To continue the profile trail, it drops all the way down to the bottom, then comes back up to where it reconnects with the profile connector. I'm about 6/10 of a mile from the parking lot to here, and I think this is about a half-mile section for the connector. It's a cool feature here on the connector trail. It drops down to the stream, and this stream is probably from the head of the Shanty Spring, which I'll eventually end up at, and has the best available drinking water and some of the coldest drinking water you'll ever find, even in the midsummer. At the parking lot, the elevation is right around 4,100 feet. Gained a little bit of elevation on this connector, but it's mostly traversed except for that dip. The summit of Calloway Peak is 5,946 feet, which I'll make another video out of that hike. Still close enough to Highway 105 to hear some of the traffic looking down the ravine there. That is where the profile trail is. The bottom of it is even below there before it starts back up, so cutting off all that downhill, uphill by using the connector. Okay, I'm at the connection where intersection where the profile connector connects back into the profile trail. I don't know what's going on here exactly. If they've rerouted a section of the profile trail to come out at a different point, but it was about 1 mile from the parking lot to here. If we'd done the whole profile trail and gone down and then back up, it would have been about 1.4 miles. So maybe this is trail maintenance crew, best I can figure. This still mostly traverse, a little up, then a drop, go through a real nice rock area along it crosses the creek, and then it's some serious climbing. About 40 degrees temperature wise to start. Yep, looks like some trail maintenance going on. So that crew is putting out a natural insecticide onto the soil to help eradicate the aphids that are destroying the hemlocks and diseasing the hemlocks. I know that's been going on here for many years. This is such a natural ecosystem here at Grandfather. So many levels of nature and plant life and wildlife. Still some pretty incredible color here on the lower part. This has been one of the most spectacular falls that I recall for colors and the consistency of colors and how long it's lasted. Today is November 3rd. Usually the leaves have pretty much cleared entirely by now. Yeah, this is a really cool area coming through. This is the last drop before the serious climbing begins. Cool creek crossing. Hi. And then these rock outcroppings. And now it is going to be climbing for at least the next 2.5 miles. Definitely climbing now, and this isn't really even the steepest part. You can see down below the trail that I took one of my last shots from. As we get higher, you notice the trail that was a nice smooth trail that would accommodate about anyone is now getting more narrow, rockier, and a lot rootier. Luckily the trail crew in many places have used the rocks to build some natural steps. Kenny Ballman and Jim Morton were the primary builders and designers of this trail. I'll mention those guys again in a little bit. Based on battery life, this is pretty much going to be the end of this video. I'm at the Foscoe View. You can see some of the mountains, Elk Knob and some of the others near Boone in the background. I'm at 4,539 feet, which it makes about 600 and some feet of elevation gain from the parking lot. A little over 1,000 feet climbing with the ups and downs to get here. So hope you've enjoyed the hike to this point. I'll continue another video from this point to Calloway Peak. Like and subscribe to my channel, please.